Without any delay, let's welcome Professor Fu Shihe to give the talk on learning in Chinese cities.
To summarize, it's very simple. There are three words: sharing, pooling, and learning. If firms of the same industry collaborate together, generate strong localization economies, then this industry will tend to grow faster in the long run. This called these benefits in a dynamic context, marshalling externalities. If we look at the work side, look at the labor market side, we can still see works benefit from the concentration for other works in the cities. Okay? Yeah. Most of what we know, we learn from other people, but we don't really distinguish who are the teachers, who are the students, because very often it's mutual. I also include city, dominant variables. I also include industry and occupation. But for the noticeable effects, it's very significant, and economically it's also very important, because this number actually is very similar to the estimates using the US Census data. So basically it means if in the industry in the city, if the college share increased by 1%, the works wage on average will increase by 0.3%. And the third column shows the sample for urban Hukou. They benefit much more compared with rural migrants. So the question is, why do rural migrants benefit much less? But I would propose that it could be because of the lack of social network. Maybe they can only socialize with other rural migrants from the same village. Maybe they are discriminated in the urban labor markets because they are rural, because they are not local. So we needed to make the city more open, more tolerant, less discriminatory. Basically, the government needed to remove all kinds of mobility barriers. Thank you very much for your attention.
Let me emphasize, because he's been very modest as to the importance of how strong the coefficients are in a model that's very saturated, meaning that there's a lot of fixed effects that control for different industries and different cities. My first comment is really this is a study that focuses on wages. I'm going to use this equation quite a lot to illustrate the main equation that Professor Fu. China has been growing so much and so fast, many of these specific industries, that it's very difficult to know whether we're in equilibrium. But if there's restrictions to mobility, you could have that price, or that implicit price on each of the characteristics of the individual is different across different metro areas. A way, a very smart way, in which the authors look at that is they compare the wages for someone who has moved to the city and someone who hasn't moved to the city. This is a terrific paper, actually, and I think we learned as much as I've ever learned about Chinese industrial agglomeration. So I'm very thankful for you inviting me to review it.